I still remember the way she walked through the front door that morning, smiling, radiant, as if she had just returned from a spa day or a peaceful retreat. The sunlight hit her perfectly as she tossed her bag onto the entryway table, her laughter ringing through the house like music. I stood there, coffee in hand, pretending to scroll through my phone, though my heart had already plummeted to the pit of my stomach. "Morning, babe," she chirped, planting a quick kiss on my cheek. Her lips were soft, familiar, but hollow, like she was performing a routine rather than kissing the man she vowed to love forever. "Morning," I replied, forcing a smile, even as every fiber of me tensed. I wanted to confront her right then and there, to scream, to demand answers. But I didn't. Not yet. She needed to see it, to realize what she had done, to understand there was no going back. My name is Evan, and for 7 years I was married to Maria. On the surface, we were picture perfect. The envy of our friends, the pride of our families. You know the type. She was my college sweetheart, the girl everyone admired, the one I couldn't believe had said yes when I proposed. We built a life together, a home. We traveled, laughed, and dreamed about the future. And I thought we were happy. I was happy. Until a month ago. It started small, how these things always do. She came home late from work more often, blaming deadlines and demanding clients. She was glued to her phone, texting late at night, turning the screen away when I glanced over. The excuses were endless, each more flimsy than the last. I didn't want to believe it, but suspicion eats away at you. Like termites in wood, it gnaws until you can't ignore the hollow feeling in your gut. So I did what any husband in my position might do. I looked for proof. I wasn't proud of it, no one ever is, but desperation makes you dig, and I dug deep. It didn't take long. A late-night text left on read, a forgotten email notification, and suddenly, there it was. His name, Mark. A guy from her office. Young. Single. Exactly the type of predator who leans into married women when they're vulnerable, or bored, or just not satisfied with what they have at home. The breadcrumbs were easy to follow. Late-night drinks, sudden overnight work trips, and then the undeniable proof, the security footage. The night before, I had installed a small, discreet camera in the living room, not because I needed more evidence, I already had enough, but because I wanted her to see it, to confront the ugly truth she had been so carefully hiding. I transferred the footage to my laptop, edited it slightly, and when she left for her girls' night out, I connected the laptop to our TV, the same TV she turned on every morning for background noise. The irony was so sharp it nearly cut me. That morning, as she stood in front of me, still glowing from whatever night she had, I knew. That smile wasn't for me. She was still thinking about him, about them. My fingers tightened around my coffee cup, but I stayed silent. I wanted her to relax, to let her guard down, to believe she had gotten away with it. "You're up early," she said, kicking off her heels and tossing her jacket over the chair. "Couldn't sleep?" I replied, casually, though my pulse pounded in my ears. "Oh, babe, I'm sorry." She flashed me that saccharine smile, the one I used to fall for, but today it made me sick. She walked over to the couch, grabbed the remote, and turned on the TV. I held my breath. The screen flickered. At first, she didn't notice. She was half distracted, her eyes on her phone. But then the sound began to play. Soft laughter. Her laughter. And just like that, everything changed. The moment her lies came crashing down. She froze. Her phone slipped from her fingers, landing in her lap as her gaze snapped toward the TV. "What?" she whispered. On the screen, she appeared, Maria, sitting at a dimly lit bar with Mark. Her hand rested on his arm, her smile brighter than it had been in months. The footage continued, seamlessly spliced together from the hidden camera I had placed, the one she never noticed. Then, the final blow. Them stumbling into our living room, kissing, undressing. Her face went pale. "What?" Her voice cracked, panic flooding her expression as she turned to me. "Evan, what is this?" "You tell me," I said, my voice terrifyingly calm. She leapt off the couch, reaching for the remote, but I blocked her. "No, Maria." My voice was sharp, final. "You wanted to smile your way through this? Then watch. Watch what you did to our marriage." Tears welled in her eyes. I can explain," she stammered. "Explain?" I laughed bitterly. "You think there's an explanation for this?" I gestured toward the screen. "For bringing him here? Into our home? The one we built together?" Her lips parted, but no words came out. Maria had never been speechless before. Yet here she was, trembling like a leaf in a hurricane. "Evan, please," she choked, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Please what?" I demanded. My voice cracked under the weight of my anger, my pain. "Please forgive you. Pretend this never happened?" She reached for me, desperate, but I only shook my head, laughing bitterly. "Oh no, Maria. You don't get to walk away clean." I didn't shout. I didn't break things. I didn't do what she probably expected me to do. Instead, I handed her a neatly folded manila envelope, something I had prepared days ago. She took it with trembling hands. What is this?" she whispered. "It's everything you're walking away with," I said coolly. Inside were the divorce papers, already signed by me. My lawyer had made sure of everything. The house, the savings, even her car, all under my name. Thanks to our very clear prenuptial agreement, she was entitled to almost nothing. "No, no, no!" She flipped through the pages, her voice breaking. "Evan, you can't do this! You can't—" "Oh, but I can." I stepped closer. "And I will." She shook her head in disbelief, tears streaking her face. "You see, Maria, actions have consequences. You made a choice. You chose him over me, over us." She collapsed onto the couch, sobbing into her hands. I didn't feel sorry for her. Not anymore. That ship had sailed the moment she walked through the door, smiling like she hadn't just burned our marriage to the ground. I moved out that afternoon. I had packed my things the night before, leaving behind nothing but empty hangars and the memories of a life she threw away. As I reached the door, I turned back one last time. She was still there, clutching the divorce papers, her face pale, broken. I could have said more. I could have yelled, cursed her name, wished her the worst, but I didn't. Instead, I left her with one final sentence. "You don't deserve me, Maria, and you never did." The divorce went through smoothly. She tried to fight, of course, pleaded, sent long, tear-filled messages about how sorry she was, how it was a mistake, how she loved me and wanted to fix it. I never responded, not once. She moved in with Mark eventually, or so I heard. Their relationship didn't last, because it never does when it's built on lies and betrayal. I, on the other hand, moved forward. I found peace, real peace, in a life free of her deception. People often ask if I regret anything. The answer is no, because in that moment, when her face went pale and her lies came crashing down around her, I knew I had already won.